Video, we are going to add the indicator called the RSI, or the Relative Strength Index. After all of my years of trading manually, and now of course trading with automation and our copy trade feeds, this is the indicator that I just fell in love with, and it just shows me what I need to see. Now in this video, we're only installing it. I'm not going to talk about how it works because that will be a separate training. I want to keep this quick and short as possible. So let's add the Relative Strength Index, the RSI indicator. Moving forward, I'll call it the RSI 4. And there's a very specific reason why. This is kind of my secret setting that I only found out after a ton of testing. No one else really talks about this setting. So let's walk through this. Now, there are a lot of different ways to add indicators to the chart. You could go to, for example, I believe the insert menu, and you can go to indicators and search through there. However, what I like to do is go to the navigation pane or the navigator. So if I click the navigator icon in the menu above, it pulls up on the left-hand side, and then I can hit the little plus sign, little plus next to the indicators. And what we're looking for is this is called an oscillator. So the Relative Strength Index right here is called an oscillator. So you have to drop down these menus and find it, but it is free and built into MT4. All I'm going to do is I could double click right now. It'll show up on the chart that is in the window here, or I can just click and drag it over and drop it, and I get the settings window. Now, normally, you'll see it says 4 right here. Normally, when you open this up, it will say 14. And there will be some things that are not included. So we're going to customize these settings. I want a period of 4. And what that means, just to give you a general idea here, is that means that this indicator, the Relative Strength Index, this indicator at a setting of 4 will be much more sensitive than it would at 14. What do these numbers represent? The 14 or the 4 or the period simply looks back on the chart that many number of candles. Now, I don't want to geek out on you too much here, but each candle is related to a time frame. If you look in the upper right-hand corner at the menu bar here behind our settings, it says H1. This is your time frames, anywhere from M1, which is 1 minute time frame, all the way up to MN, which is month. Now we're looking at the 1 hour, and I didn't choose that for any reason. Typically, I trade down on the 5 minute, maybe the 15-minute chart, sometimes the 1 minute chart. Doesn't mean you couldn't trade this particular technique on any of the charts, but if you're manually trading, and for example, trading on the day chart, it's like watching grass grow. It's extremely slow. The movement is slow. The movement's a lot faster, obviously, on the minute 1, and it starts to get more of what seems like a normal pace at the minute 5 or the minute 15, the 5 minute chart, the 15-minute chart. So nonetheless, let me give you an example. If I'm on the 1 minute chart and I have a period of 4, that means this particular Relative Strength Index is going to look back 4 candles. So it's going to look back 4 minutes. Now, if I'm on the 5 minute chart and my period is still going to be 4, what's 5 minutes times 4? So I'm looking back at 20 minutes worth of price action. Be honest with you, none of this really matters, but I do want you to have a general understanding of what this is. We're simply going to put the period 4 Relative Strength Index on the chart. We're going to make a couple level settings here in a second, and we're done. And it's going to be a video game. When it gets to a certain point, we'll buy, gets to another point, we will sell, and will profit or get out at a loss. So in this particular case, what I want is the period of 4. The rest of the settings you see here, like apply to close, style black, you can change all of this stuff. However, you would not want to change the minimum, which is a 0%, and the maximum, which is 100%. So let's go on to the tab levels. Now, I already have this in here, but you may not see any levels at all, so you'll have to click the Add button. So I want 3 levels. I want a 15, I want an 85, and a 50, and this will make a lot more sense when we go look at it visually. So 15, 85, and 50, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. It will add the Relative Strength Index to the bottom of my chart. Now let me go ahead and get rid of everything so we can just basically look at the chart. So what we're looking at here is there's 3 dashed or dotted lines on the screen, and over to the right hand side here you'll see it starts down at the bottom at 0% and goes up to 100%. What I want to know is that when the price comes down, when this line comes down and touches the 15, I want to know when that's happening. So that's why I put a visual here of the 15. I want to know what the center mark is, which is 50%, 0 to 100%. And then I have this top here, which is 85, so 85%. I want to know visually when this relative strength index line comes up and touches those areas. And we can manipulate that. You can set it higher. You could put the 85 at a 90 or a 95%, meaning the price really has to push to get to that level. And the same thing down here. You could put, instead of 15%, you could put it at 10% or 5%. Some people run this at 20% at the bottom and 80% at the top. I like to run it at 15% at the bottom, 85% of the top. We will talk more about that. This is, at this point, just you adding this indicator. We're not going to learn how to use it yet. That's not the point quite yet. Our template is still not correct. So what we got now is our colored candles and background at the top, and we have our relative strength index, our RSI indicator at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and save this as a new template. So I'm going to click the templates area, click save template, and let's call this candles plus RSI. And I'm going to say RSI 4. So we got candles plus RSI 4. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now that template is saved. I could open up any other chart. Let's go to this last chart. So obviously you can see that my candles are proper here, but I don't have the relative strength index. Let's go ahead and add that template. So I'll click templates. I'll go to the candles plus RSI 4, and it will just automatically add that. And on down the line, I could actually open up a brand new chart. So right click, chart window. So here is a generic chart. I can go ahead and add my now candle customized and RSI template. So candles plus RSI 4. So there we go. It just makes it easy, especially if you have a lot of charts open and you're ready to get to the point where you want your template to show. That's how you do it. Now, you'll notice what I did is I just clicked the shift end. Seems although we saved that, it may not be saving to the template. So I always have these two clicked. I have the scroll icon clicked and the shift end clicked. So I have this extra space over here I can see. So that's it. Let's stop there. We've added our RSI indicator, RSI setting of 4, which is kind of, again, my secret. Normally when you add this to the chart, it will give you the default of 14. You want it at 4 because simply you want it to be sensitive. So that's it. In the next video, we will add the indicators up here in the upper window, which are called moving average lines. And we'll talk about the purpose of those and what we're going to do. We'll save those to a template. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.